Our consolidated revenue was at 71,500 crore approximately. That was a 20% year-on-year growth. The EBITDA was just under 24,000 crores. That's about 18% year-on-year growth. We incurred capex of about $2.8 billion. That's about 13,500 crores between India and Africa. We have, as on 31st March, total investment of over 178,000 crores across our operations, of which a whopping 110,000 crores is in India alone. So this is a sector where we have made very, very large investments. We do approximately 3 billion minutes per day. We are, as you know, the 5th largest telecom operator globally in terms of the number of customers. Our total customer base exceeded 250 million. We were at close to about 252 million as at the end of the period. We had our leverage, as you know, we had taken the debt for Africa acquisition. I'm really pleased to note that the leverage has come down quite significantly during the year from 2.95, that is net debt to EBITDA, down to a very manageable, very comfortable 2.56. We launched 3G on a large scale in India and also on a large scale in Africa during the year. We also launched, as you know, 4G, first to launch TD-LTE network in India last month. We have launched now Airtel Money, which is really a beginning of a major thrust on the m-commerce, both in India and in Africa. So overall, a good performance. However, as you can expect, the full impact of the interest and the amortization of the large license fees which were paid on 3G have dragged down the net profit from over 6,000 crores last year to just about 4,260 crores. Coming to India and South Asia, you know this has been a year of massive challenges, but I'm glad that despite all the confusion in the marketplace, on the regulatory side, we were able to achieve a revenue growth in double digits. Our customer base in India is now just shy of 200 million. As on date, of course, it would have exceeded that. And we do roughly about 2.5 billion minutes every day. In Africa, our revenues during the year grew to $4.14 billion, up from 2.88 billion in the previous year. Let me remind you, the previous year, of course, was 70 days short because we started the operations from 10th June. But even after adjusting for that, we grew at about 33% in terms of revenue. Our EBITDA exceeded 1 billion. It was at $1.1 billion, up from about $629 million. Again, on an adjusted basis, roughly a 50% growth. Customer base at about 53 million, and we had more than 2 million a quarter in Africa today. I think overall, I feel it was an extremely important year in Bharti's history.
We ended the quarter with revenues of rupees 134 billion with a growth of 2% quarter on quarter and 10.5% year on year. Business added incremental revenues of rupees 2583 million, and the annual revenues have now crossed the US $10 billion mark. Despite increase in the marketplace activity, our EBITDAs have expanded, which is the EBITDA margins, by almost a percentage point this quarter, and we have witnessed a 6.1% sequential growth in the net profits this quarter to 13.5 billion. Revenues for mobile have grown by 3.3% quarter on quarter, and on a adjusted number of days basis, which is EB, it is 4.4. This is the highest in the last 4 quarters that we have achieved. Now coming back to the growth, this was all at the back of 5.6 million customers going up. Our total base is now 181 million on the mobile side, and we have increased the tariffs over 11.2, increased the traffic by over 11.2 billion minutes during the quarter. And also, if you look at the mobile number portability, we added 1 million net mobile number ported customers onto our network, which is the highest added by any operator since the inception of MNP. Some softness in rates because of hyper competition and pricing pressures. And like I said, we were investing back into the market on a year-on-year basis. Still, we see a 1.3% upward movement in the rate, and we've gained from 43.3 paisa to 43.8 paisa as compared to Q4 of last year. MOUs per customers have increased for the first time in the last 7 quarters, and therefore the rate drop that we experienced has given us the positive fillip on customer consumption, and today the minutes of consumption have increased to 431 minutes from 419 minutes in the previous quarter. ARPUs have increased for second consecutive quarter by rupees 2, and they now stand at 189 rupees from 187 rupees in the last quarter. We launched LTE, something that you heard from Akhil earlier, with over 120 million internet users in the country and third largest in terms of the Facebook use. It makes us the third largest internet country in the world. And with 43 million Facebook users, we are the second largest in the world in terms of Facebook. India is absolutely set and well poised for a data revolution in the coming quarters and years. To leverage the growth potential of broadband, we continue to invest in 3G. We are now present in over 1,100 cities across the country and now have over 9 million provisioned 3G customers, with 30% of them being active customers at any point in time. Total number of internet mobile users on Airtel network are 35 million and growing. In fact, 3G is the fastest growing line item in our revenues streams across the entire portfolio. We also launched Airtel Money, and you're aware of that. This was the semi-closed wallet with over 300 towns, 20,000 retailers, 7,500 merchant establishments. Let me quickly touch upon telemedia. We said that this is a fundamentally strong business on EBITDA margins, and we will come back to it. You saw a blip in the last quarter. I'm happy to say we've grown 2.2% points on the EBITDA margin, and this business will get back to the 42-43% margins it always deserves. It also sequentially grew by 0.3% on the top line. As far as the enterprise services is concerned, we actually have now branded the enterprise services as Airtel Business. I'm sure many of you have taken cognizance of that. And this is, again, reinforcing our commitment towards creating a solution-based corporate and enterprise service group within Bharti Airtel. Let me come down to DTH, which has grown 7% quarter on quarter, and ARPUs in this business have improved quarter on quarter, and this is at the back of the high definition services that we are very proud that we take a leadership position in. Overall, a satisfying quarter. The growth in minutes and customer additions have returned, and I think Airtel is back into the mark-to-market game going forward.